Hi, everyone. I'm Sue Matsuki, and welcome to Sue's Muse, another edition right here on Nightlife Exchange. Today, I have a dear friend joining me. We've known each other since the 80s. We've done shows together. She's an incredible singer and performer, and she has several projects coming up. And she's also putting on a producer cap this time. So I want to talk to you all about that. Welcome, Goldie. I'm so happy. Goldie Dver, everyone.
Oh, thank you, Sue. Thank you for inviting me. This is awesome.
Totally my pleasure. Before we get started on the projects and stuff, I want the audience to know a little bit about you. This video magazine, if you will, is not just about the stuff that we're doing, but I want people to get to know the person behind this stuff, because I think that's always a nice way for someone to enter a room or to consider going to a show because they said, hey, that person seems so nice or that's interesting, and let me go check them out. Give us a little background of who you are and how you came into the business.
Let's see. Born in Philly, raised as a Philly girl, and I started singing in what used to be called supper clubs when I was a teenager. My parents used to have to take me because I was underage, and I would bring my homework and I would do my homework in between my sets. And that was my first stage experience, but it gave me a lot of great background in working with musicians, working with trios and bands on stage. Being able to do a show with a talk down gave me a lot working with an audience. So it really gave me a lot of great experience. Came to New York to go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts,
Of course you did.
of course, and where we all learned to be perfect English people. And and that's when I first got into theater. Before that, my whole experience with musicals was from the movie versions. My parents, we lived in, we didn't really go to theater. It was nightclubs. It was more Vegas and all of that and variety shows on TV. But
What was
theater,
one of your favorite shows that you watched with your
oh,
parents?
Judy Garland.
Oh,
Judy
of
Garland
course.
every Sunday night. Are you kidding? I was allowed to stay up late and watch Judy Garland. Also loved, of course, Ed Sullivan. My mother told me that I was born during Ed Sullivan. October 10th, that year was from between 8 and 9 o'clock, which was when at Sullivan. That's when you born. That was as close as she could narrow it down. So I guess it was meant to be. And came to New York and actually met my husband, Paul Devere, an
Mhm.
amazing writer, composer, player, comedy writer,
And
producer.
Mensch, he was such a wonderful man. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. He was quite unique. And he really was so entrenched in theater. He had one of these encyclopedic brains, could knew everything. Before Google, if I
Mhm.
was with friends and was, well, who did that in this music? I'd call up Paul and he would know. But he really got me even more involved in theater. And then I met Jamie Beeman, who we met as professional makeup artists at Henry Bendel's. And we became fast friends and went to see each other perform. And we started working together. And Jamie directed, my husband Paul musical directed, I performed. Jamie and I did a show together, Leslie Brickis review called Crazy World, won the Mac Award for that back in 2002.
And now you're full circle back with Jamie leading your team. This is
That's
wonderful.
right. And I've been working with Jamie steadily through the years. It's 27, 28 years that we've been together and working on projects. I just love collaborating with him to create the project. I love him as a director and of course we're dear friends. So yeah,
Tell me a little bit about your process. You mentioned process. Is it the chicken or the egg? I asked this of Craig earlier when I interviewed him. Do you have the songs? Do you have the concept? Do you have a script? How does that work? Or is it a combination or is it different for every show for you? I'm always fascinated in another singer's process.
my shows tend to start out first with the concept. Once we have the concept, then I start with a huge list of songs. Sometimes I'll just go trolling through YouTube and keep adding songs to the list that I think might work or I like for one reason or another. Then Jamie and I will start working together and we'll go through the list and we'll start culling out the things that we know just won't work. And we start narrowing the list. And as we start to focus in on how we want to use the concept, what we want to say in the show,
Mhm.
what the journey of the show is going to be. Because my shows always tend to be a little theatrical, but the music is always very important, but for me, the song, the choice of a song always relies on the lyric. The lyric has to be there first.
Mhm.
This, what story am I telling in this song? And if the lyric works for the concept, then we start figuring out, well, where could that work in the show?
Mhm.
So that's how we sort of bring it down with this newly show that we're doing.
I was just going to ask you, tell us about, this is your new solo show that's going to
Yes.
debut in the fall, correct? Or earlier
Yes.
than that?
Yes. No, it debuts at the Beachman on October 6th, which is a Sunday night. And then we're going to do another show in November, November 3rd, also on a Sunday night. We're going to do a little sneak preview at the Samagundi Private Club on October 3rd. So we'll send out more about that later. But the Newly show was because I wanted to do a show that could be booked outside of New York, where people don't know who Goldie Dver is,
Mhm.
but they would be attracted to what the show is. And rather than just sort of choose a songbook show or a specific, I wanted it to be something that I would relate to personally. And my husband, Paul, and I were really lucky enough, and it was through Paul that this first started. We had a friendship with Newly the last 9 years of his life.
Mhm.
So the show is going to be through the lens of that personal friendship. And we're going to explore, of course, it's a wonderful catalog of music, and but explore who he was as a performer, as a composer and writer, actor, but also as a man, because that's the Lee that I got to know. That was so fascinating.
Those are usually the best shows for me. You know, everybody and all of us have done the bio show, and that's great the first time you introduce yourself to a community. But I'm always fascinated with why someone speaks to you, why this person meant something to you. So it's beautiful that you have that one-on-one. I didn't know that you knew Anthony. That's really great. I can't wait to see this. It's going to be
Yeah,
wonderful.
thank you.
So
Thank
tell
you.
me about this new producer hat you're wearing. And this is a huge project. So listen to this, people. Talk to me about this a little bit.
Okay, well, this was something, again, Jamie sort of prodded me into this after we did our St. Luke's event, our St. Luke's benefit last year. So many people were saying, oh, Jamie, Goldie, you're a good host, this and that. And Jamie kept prodding me to do a series where I was the host. And together we came up with this idea of presenting works in progress,
Mhm.
works that people haven't seen performed yet anywhere. And came up with the name Sneak Peek, little sneak peek behind the curtain, a performer and songwriter lab. And each month we're going to do a monthly series at Don't Tell Mama. So thrilled. I love Don't Tell
When is
Mama.
it starting, honey? What month?
First one is June 24th, which is a Monday night, 7 o'clock. And each month will have a different theme. So the first month's theme will be, and the winners are dot dot dot. And we're featuring winners from both the Bistro Awards and the Mac Awards.
Super.
So Julie Gold has agreed to be my special guest. I'm thrilled. And so far, our
As a
lineup,
stand-up comedian or as a composition a musician? Because she is so,
Julie Gold, not
I
Judy.
know, I'm
Yeah, yeah,
kidding because she's
right.
so funny. She
I
at the
know. In
bistro, she
fact,
killed it. She's so funny.
oh my God. In fact, I want to do one of her songs because I'll be doing like a song each week, and I want to do one of her songs. Um, it's a song that no one has heard yet. It's funny. It's funny. So we'll see, but we're working that out. So our lineup, we have Julie as the special guest. We have Karen Mack. We have Camille Diamond, Jason Henderson, Marty Millett, who won female vocalist this year. And we have one more slot open that I'm still just waiting to get a confirmation. But it's a wonderful lineup. I'm very excited about that. And they'll all be doing material from something that they're working on now that, because I know as an audience, I'm always interested to see what are they working on? What's next for them? What
Mhm.
haven't we seen yet? And that development process, they can show it at whatever stage they feel they want to present this. And we'll have a little chat with them to talk about what the project is.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited about
Oh,
this.
that's great.
We're going to
And
have you on one of these following months coming up. Absolutely.
well, I'm always there when you call, but tell me about going forward with the concept. What are the other ideas that you're going to book and the other ideas that you're toying with right now?
Okay, so some of the other concepts, I want to have a show that we're featuring new faces. And I don't want to give too much away about that yet because um I'm still I've got agreements from one of the person to bring some of his new people on, and I am speaking with the other person to get that. So once it's, fully confirmed, I will absolutely talk about that. But I'm going to call that one You're Going to Hear From Me.
Nice.
And we have one that I want to do that are self-contained solo acts where they play for themselves and perform um, piano, guitar, whatever, single, duo, whatever, but self-contained. And the working title of that one is Me, Myself, and I. I want to have one of songwriters presenting their new material.
Our unsung heroes in the business, right,
Yes.
man?
Yes, I
Yeah.
want to have another one of the piano bar players
I did
who,
that once down at Urban Stages, and it was really awesome because, again, like our songwriters in our business, where would we be without our piano bar players and all the open
yes,
mics that they play and everything? And they're just all so talented.
absolutely.
You might want to think about joining them or doing one with the piano bar singers too, because the piano bar singers in our town can all go right on Broadway. They just haven't
Yes.
had their break
Oh,
yet.
they're so talented. And
Yeah,
and to be able to sustain that through a whole night of
right.
singing, it's amazing. The what I would like the piano bar players to do is something that they, out of the box that they
Right.
don't do in their piano bar nights. Give
Mhm.
them a chance to stretch out and present something that it just doesn't work for the piano bar setting,
Mhm.
but and to combine that with piano bar player singers as well, that could work together in one show,
Or
or
two
that
separate shows. Yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So we're definitely, and we have one for October because the October show is going to be the night before Halloween, October 30th.
Mm.
And I'm thinking right now, the working title is, Behind the Mask. We're going to have people who do drag and or characters
Yay.
personifications. So I have absolutely, as you can imagine, have certain specific people in
Yeah.
mind. Um, so yes, we have several of the dates worked out
Mhm.
and the concepts, but it's still forming as we go along.
Mhm.
It's a lot of coordinating, getting the right
Oh,
people
yeah, I know. Trust me.
available at the
Yeah.
right time. But yeah,
Yeah.
so as you know,
Um,
I mean, you've been between for so
yeah,
long.
not our first rodeo.
Oh, no, you have been so helpful in our chats. You have been so helpful and gracious and giving in imparting your information to me and your experience. And I want you to know how much I appreciate that.
Oh, I appreciate you
Everyone
saying
is
that,
really
sweetie. But I got to say, I'm very excited and I'm so glad how inclusive you're being and thinking outside of the box. This is going to be an amazing series. Quickly, what's your website? Where can people find the dates when these all land?
GoldieDeVere.com.
Oh, that's easy enough. GoldieDver.com.
Yes.
Goldie, I want to ask you in some, this 15 minutes goes by so quickly, but tell me one piece of advice from a mentor or a friend that stuck with you. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the business, but just in general, a life recommendation or something that someone said to you that stuck with you all these years.
I keep going back to Paul. Paul passed away. It's 5 years already. We were together 41 years. I still hear him in my head all the time.
Mm.
And there was something I used to do on stage that really sort of hampered me. I used to watch myself while I was performing and sort of second guess myself. Can I do that? Should I do that? No, I don't know. Should? And Paul really gave me the advice and the permission and just helped me understand when you step on that stage is your home. It doesn't matter what happens. It's your home. Everyone is there, like in your living room,
Mhm.
and just use it. Just be in the moment. Focus yourself before you step on stage. Be in the moment and fly.
And deliver, right?
Yes.
Well, that's good advice for everyone. Goldie, thank you so much for taking a few minutes and being with us. Everybody, please go to goldiedevere.com and watch for these dates, these upcoming dates. We will keep you posted right here on Nightlife Exchange when they happen. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for joining us, Goldie.
Thank you so much, Sue. This was delightful.